cooking, you never stop learning, and that's what I love about it. Today I'm doing an eggplant and vegetable stack from one of Julie Biuso's cookbooks, and I'm actually at a lovely house right now, and she's going to show me some tricks and tips on cooking eggplant. Julie Biuso has a passion for food. In fact, some would say it's her life. Julie's currently the food editor of Taste and Your Home and Garden magazine, and has authored over 14 cookbooks. Alrighty, so how many times have you had poorly cooked eggplant?
So often, Kelly, in restaurants and cafes, undercooked, and they're kind of astringent. And I can only say that when they're not cooked properly, it tastes like you've licked the carpet.
Oh,
it's really bad.
Yummy.
So I think it's important to get them cooked all the way through, because then they're beautifully creamy.
Yeah, because I'm wanting to try one of your recipes out of your sizzle, and I need to know the tricks and tips so that I don't make some carpet tasting eggplant. So first of all, we've got them laid out, and why is that?
Well, if we let them dry in the air for a little bit, then we'll get rid of some of the moisture, because of course frying, oil and water don't mix, so we want to cut down on the spitting. And then, you need to have a little look at your eggplants too before we go that far, just to see if there's a really dark green colour underneath the skin, because that can indicate bitterness. And if they're bitter, they're going to taste horrible at the end anyway. The drier eggplant, honhonestly, the better the result.
Perfect, for sure. Perfect. Okay, so from here we're going to get ready to cook it. Yeah. So we need to...
we're going to brush with a little oil. Cool. You can dunk if you like, but the thing is, you've got to make sure that the oil goes all over the slice of the eggplant. If it doesn't, then it will be dry, and if it's dry, it can taste rubbery.
Oh yeah, excellent.
So a little brush. Now, a lot of people are quite afraid of cooking eggplants because they've got this reputation for soaking up so much oil. So we're going to get them coated like this. We use the minimum amount of oil, and then we cook them on the barbecue, and they'll be gorgeous, golden, cooked all the way through, and creamy inside, which is a surprise.
Exactly the way it should be eaten, right?
Yeah, indeed.
Cool. So we want to put these onto high heat?
Yeah, have the barbecue preheated, most important. Then, just before they go on, just give them the hot plate a little spray with oil.
Yep.
And away we go.
Voila.
And you'll find on all hot plates that you'll have one part's a little hotter than the other.
Oh yeah, okay.
So we know that we've got a bit of a cool area here. And the temptation is to keep the cool ones moving up towards the heat, and to keep on playing with them. You've seen guys, they've got the tongs or the prodder.
So, it is quite tempting though, isn't it?
Well, it is, because otherwise what do you do?
What else do you do?
Yeah, women are probably okay because we can just gossip, but guys sort of
the guys need to do something with tools. So.
Well, that's the worst thing you can do, because if you do that and you keep on turning food over, you interfere with the cooking process. And then every time you turn something over, you're introducing a cold surface to the hot grill, so you're actually lowering the temperature. Yeah. And then your food takes longer to cook. And if you want, you can also have some straight on the bars. You've got to watch out a bit more for those, because they are in fairly close contact with the flame, so they can burn a bit more. Sometimes they don't cook all the way through, so you might want to finish them off on the hot plate. But they take on a nice smoky flavour, so that's quite good. So we'll just have a look and see. Yay, look at that. We're doing beautifully. I mean, that is a gorgeous colour. And what we want, it's really important that we cook them right through, because as we said, if we don't, they're going to be astringent and they're horrible in your mouth. Furry mouth. So we want a good dark golden brown, and if we achieve that, I think we're going to have gorgeous eggplants.
Excellent. So we're gonna salt these now?
Oh yeah, definitely. Most important, if I'm using New Zealand sea salt, makes a difference for sure. There's endless things you can roll and stuff them. We've got feta that can go in them, a little bit of chili, bit of mint.
Ooh, maybe you can show me that.
Yeah, I know that flavour's just going to be right up your alley. You'll enjoy it. Very simple really too. Yeah.
Excellent.
I get super inspired working with someone with so much experience and knowledge in the kitchen. I'm not really sure where this creation is going, but I know it's going to be something pretty special.
Wow, I didn't
realise that eggplant truly was so versatile. So thank you so much for teaching me this awesome tip.
You're welcome, Kelly.
And just one other thing, you actually do cooking classes in your own kitchen?
Yeah, I do, right here from home. Lots of fun, small groups, the idea being that, you know, we learn lots of things about food, but...
just like I've learnt today.
Yeah.
Perfect.
We eat it, we drink wine with it, and it's great fun.
Excellent. Well, thank you so much for showing it, and I really have to try one of these beautiful
Good on you.
things.
I think I'll have to join you.
That is good. After the break, I'll make a delicious eggplant and vegetable stack, putting Julie's advice into practice. And I'll show you a nifty trick for growing your own eggplant. It's good to know what you're putting into your body and to know what options you have. So I'm off to catch up with Cherry from the Sanitary Nutrition Service, who is a wealth of information and healthy tips. So I'm doing a vegetarian dish with eggplant.
I love eggplant. You just got to be careful not to over oil it though.
Yeah, but you don't want to under oil it either because it becomes dry and gross.
True, but if you use something like a spray oil or brush it on, that way you're not pouring too much on and overusing it.
That's a good idea.
We actually get quite a few inquiries through our nutrition line on what oils to use, and we usually recommend oils that are high in monounsaturated fats, purely because they have beneficial effects on your cholesterol levels.
And from a cooking perspective, you want to use the right oil for the right recipe.
Definitely.
Baby, I love it. I've been to see our expert, I got my veggies from my garden, now I'm going to try one of Julie's recipes from her book. It's an eggplant and vegetable stack. So first of all, remember what she said about buying your eggplant. You want to make sure that the skin's nice and tight and there's not many bumps or bruises in it, and that will give you a good eggplant. So you want to cut them first and lay them out on a board and get rid of all that moisture, because the moisture just does not mix with the hot oil when you're cooking. Also, you want to make sure that when you do cut them, you don't cut them too thin because they do shrink when you cook. So we're just going to lay it out and get rid of all this moisture. I'm going to leave these to rest, and now onto the snow peas. You just want to lightly drizzle these with a little bit of avocado oil. The reason I'm using avocado oil is because it's healthy, it doesn't burn, and it's just a really good flavour with the vegetables. Now, you don't want to overcook these, you just want to lightly caramelise these in a hot oven. So I'm going to make a quick dressing for the stack. I've got Omega Plus oil. And drizzle that in, and I'm going to use a little bit of balsamic. Now you don't need too much, and a bit of crushed garlic. I like to use New Zealand grown garlic because I like to support the locals, plus I find it the best garlic to use. Now garlic's great for colds, but probably not so good for kissing, but that's all right. We're only going to put a little bit in so it doesn't matter. And with that, and a little bit of sea salt, a little bit of pepper, and give that a mix up. That's done. Onto the eggplant. Remember, this was another tip that Julie took us through, and that was that you don't want to over oil your eggplant, but you don't want to under oil it either. So you just put a bit of avocado oil into a bowl, grab your brush, and then just lightly brush both sides. Now you also see the avocado oil makes it nice and green. Now these are ready to go. They're dry, so they're not going to spit at me in the pan, and I've oiled them just right. Not too much, not too little. Because you'll find if you do oil them too much, they'll just soak up all the oil and become all soft and squishy. All right, I've got a hot pan. I'm just going to give it a spray, a light spray, because I've got enough oil on the eggplants. Whack them in. And remember, when they're cooking, leave them alone. Don't poke and prod your food. Let it cook. So while my eggplant's cooking, I'm just going to give this pan a little spray. Now, the recipe tells me to cook my tomatoes. I don't really like cooked tomatoes, but I'm just going to lightly warm them. And so I'm just going to give them a quick little fry up on both sides. And while that's happening, we're going to flip these over, and look, it's starting to cook all the way through. Oh, that's perfect. Perfect. Oh, back to the tomatoes. Don't overcook these. Just lightly warm them on both sides. So I'm just going to check on my eggplants and see how they're doing. Ah, perfect. As you can see, the eggplant's looking absolutely perfect, nice and creamy in the middle. I'm just going to lightly salt, but just remember, it's just lightly salt these vegetables because you've got enough seasoning in your dressing as is. Right, now for the plating. We've got a nice long plate here. There's two ways to make the stack. You can either make a stack or you can make an entree size, but I'm going to go for the stack and make a big meal size of it, just because I can. So we're going to put the eggplant, tomato, we're going to add a little bit of fresh basil, Now for the mozzarella, and yes, it is buffalo mozzarella, so it comes from buffalo. But Cherry told me that it also has the lowest fat count in it, which is a great cheese to use. So we're going to put a bit of that on top of the fresh basil here. Now don't be shy, because yeah, it's got a low fat count, so that's all right. A couple of little snow peas. Now like I said, I want to make it a stack, so I'm going to repeat the process. The eggplant. Bit of tomato, some fresh basil, beautiful buffalo mozzarella, don't be shy, and some snow peas. A beautiful colour to show. And look at that. We haven't finished yet because I'm going to crush over some toasted walnuts and just crush them around the plate. Just give them a good little crunch up. Now I'm going to give the dressing another little whisk and also give it a taste for the seasoning. Perfect. Now I'm just going to dress up the plate and then we're done. So spoon a little bit over your stack and just spoon a little bit around the plate, and excellent, there you have it. Beautiful colours, awesome texture, and I can't wait to eat it.
Growing your own herbs and veggies is both cost effective and rewarding. There's nothing like taking something straight from your garden to your plate.
So I've just picked some eggplants for my cute little eggplant tree. Now one thing about the eggplants is that they love the sun. So planting them in a pop-up bag like this is great because you can move it around quite freely. Also, once the season's done, you can just empty it out and pack it away so it's nice and small like that. And it's easy to store away. So I'm just going to move it into the sun like that. And there you go, they'll like that.
After the break, I get a bit saucy with a tasty steamed apple pudding with apple sauce and custard.